Couch to 5K week 2 run 3. So I believe this will have been my 6th run now, and I went on this run on Saturday morning. The day I'm recording this is Wednesday, so that was a couple of days ago now. And if I can recall the events of what happened on that particular run, was that I believe I trained my legs in the gym the day prior. So going on a run didn't seem very wise, but I hadn't been on a run in a couple of days, so I wanted to get one in despite having trained legs the day before. I just wanted to see how I fared, to be honest. In hindsight now, I probably should have just given a day's rest, having trained legs, and then running the day after. Very little time for recovery. You should never do that, really. But in my case, I hadn't been on a run in a few days, and I wanted to try and stay consistent. So I went for this run anyway, although it was a bad idea because it had an impact on my performance. And I really felt my legs starting to give out quite early into this run. They felt very heavy, and that's probably most likely down to, in fact, it's not most likely, it was down to me going very heavy on my leg session. I trained on the Friday and then going on a run on Saturday morning will obviously have long-lasting impacts because two intense sessions of working my leg muscles are effectively gonna tire me out because I haven't given myself a long enough time to recover. But anyway, on with the run. So yeah, my legs felt very heavy towards the start of it. When I first got out there and went on just started in like the first few minutes of the run, my legs felt very heavy, and I was starting to regret even going on it in the first place. But I stuck through it. I sort of just pushed through it. I went a lot slower than I normally would go. I was going at a very, very light jogging pace, and I was just trying to coast my way through and just make sure I kept moving forward no matter what. One thing I noticed actually was that even though it started off very difficult, it actually gradually got a little bit easier. I think this is a sign of my body sort of adapting to running itself, and I'm starting to get a little bit more comfortable with the idea of running, because even though things were very tough to begin, because I persisted and kept running even though my legs were very heavy, and the idea of quitting was or just stopping or slowing down felt very, very appealing. I wanted to just stick through it regardless of how slow I was going. I stuck through it, and my legs started to feel a little bit lighter the further I got into the run. So I'm not sure why that even happened. I probably should have felt more tired, but I felt a little bit less. And I actually started to pick up the speed a little bit as I got towards the end of the run. My legs started feeling lighter. I started feeling a bit more nimble, and I just picked up the speed a little bit. And towards the end of it, I was sort of flying through it for the last portion of the run. And yeah, that's how it felt. So it felt kind of smooth towards the end, which is very different, and it's a stark contrast to how I felt at the start compared to how I finished. So yeah, that's how the run felt itself. In terms of my running structure, I'll post a photo either on my left or right hand side. Nothing has effectively changed. Because I'm still in the week 2 block of runs, nothing absolutely changes here. The whole idea is to build up those repetitions and make sure you're running consistently and are able to do the same runs over and over. So the picture will display you have a warm-up for 5 minutes, you run for 90 seconds, you walk for 2 minutes, you repeat that 5 times, you run for another 90 seconds, and then you cool down for 5 minutes. So in total, you're doing 90 seconds times 6, which is 400 and 90 seconds times 6 is 540 seconds. So that is 9 minutes of running. Yeah, so you do 9 minutes of running within each run of the week 2 block, if that makes sense. And yeah, that's essentially how it looks. You repeat 3 runs of the same caliber, and you just repeat those for week 2, run 1, 2, and 3. And just wanted to draw back to, I mentioned my body feels like it's adapting to running. And the reason I say that is because on run number 6 particularly, when I got towards the end of it, and I sort of started to cool down and then head on my way home, and then I showered and stretched and all that, one thing I noticed was I didn't feel nowhere near as sore. My body wasn't aching as much, and I felt much less fatigued in comparison to how I felt on when I went on my first run on run number 1 in week 1 and run 2 and run 3. That soreness and fatigue and my body aching wasn't nowhere near as severe as it was when I first started the program. And I think it's just a testament to how your body sort of adapts to the sort of situations you put it in. And if you stay consistent, your body will adapt and sort of grow to it over time. Because my body growing used to this idea of running consistently, it just shows you're developing, you're getting better. Well, in my case, I do believe that, because if I'm not feeling as sore as I was when I first started, it means my body's sort of changing. I'm adapting, and my recovery levels are going to be better now because I'm able to take on the runs and not be entirely sore and completely checked out for the rest of the day. That's not really the case anymore. I still have energy after my runs and probably could run for a bit longer, but I'm sticking strictly to the program for now and just seeing how it plays out. One point I did want to make was that I'm not sure if it was on this run particularly, because this was a few days ago now. I'm just trying to recall what happened. There was part of the run when I was listening to a piece of music, and I'm just trying to recall what the name was. I think it was Teardrop by Massive Attack. I think it's more better known as the theme tune from the show House, if you're familiar with that. You may know what I'm talking about, but just the theme song in general. And one thing I noticed was when I was running and this song was playing in the background, because I quite like listening to this theme song for some reason. I don't know, it might be a bit weird for that, but as I was listening to it and I was running, I don't know whether I was doing this consciously or subconsciously, but I was running as normal, and then when this song played and it was just on in the background, my running was like kind of dictated by the pace of the song. I don't know if that makes sense, but the theme song is obviously designed in a way to be catchy and intriguing, but I was just listening to the tempo of the song, and what I noticed was that I didn't realize I was doing this at the time, but I think the pace at which I was running at was matching the pace of the song, and I felt like I was flying through it in like the running block I was doing at the time. I didn't actually feel like I was running, which sounds very strange, but I matched the pace of the music to the pace of my running. I don't know, I feel like there might be some science behind it where there's certain types of music or the way it's composed can actually help you to run. I'm not sure what I'm trying to get at here, but I just found it kind of interesting. I think the right word I'm looking for is cadence. I believe cadence is how many steps you take per minute, but I let my running be dictated by the sort of pace of the song I was listening to, being the house and the theme tune. and kind of felt like I was in a bit of a flow state. I just had that music on in my playlist, and it was just on in the background, and I was just running, following the pace of the song, without even realizing. And I feel like it kind of helped me with my run because I had like a constant pace to follow because that music was playing, and I was sort of just matching my steps to the sound of the theme theme tune. I don't know. I feel like there must be some scientific research out there that shows that listening to particular kinds of songs may actually be helpful for your running. I might actually look into this and just see whether there's anything out there that shows that certain songs can help improve your running performance or help you get better control of your runs, and especially your running pace. Because I felt like I was in a bit of a flow state. I was just sort of going through the motions, following the pace of the song, and just I felt like I was completely flying through it. And then towards the end of the run, I was like, "Oh, the run's over." I had the feeling like I could have gone for a bit longer, definitely, because I was in a bit of a flow state. And then the instructor not the instructor, the pre-recorded voice instructor who will tell you when to run and walk and cool down and all that, and told me that the run was over and it's time to cool down. And I was like, hang on, I could have gone for a bit longer because I was in a bit of a flow state at that point. Maybe it's something to think about, I don't know, but I do believe that the kind of music you listen to, if you listen to music on your runs, can have like a drastic impact on how your run can go. And maybe there's certain types of songs that are designed to help you run at a certain pace. But I found, and I'm 100% sure that listening to music or listening to that song in particular definitely helped me with running because I managed to stay at a constant pace, and I actually managed to pick it up a little bit from my usual pace, which is like a sort of a slow jog. I managed to pick it up a little bit and sort of run in rhythm to that theme tune. Anyway, that's that. I don't know. There must be something out there that shows that running can help, or not running, music can help your running performance. So I'll throw in a little screenshot from Strava here, just detailing out the statistics from the run, and that will be that for this video. I will see you in the next run.